welcome to the show. I'm Donna Davis. This is Richard Cole. He's back with us. We want to invite you to take part in this. Let us know where you're watching from. Interact with us. Ask questions. Richard is the birding expert, and he can answer your questions. But we're talking a little bit about springtime, right, Richard?
Springtime, indeed. And,
it's coming up.
And it's here. We're in Georgia, and to make a little story about springtime, I was on an exercise walk day before yesterday, and it was one of those rare days where spring broke through. It was 75 degrees, it was sunshiny, little puffy clouds out, and I was out getting my exercise when I was deep in thought, and I was rudely interrupted by singing birds. All of a sudden,
do that this time of year.
I was hearing birds everywhere, and I just stopped for a moment, and I said, oh, this is nice. And I was hearing 4 to 6 birds not too far from me within the neighborhood, maybe within a few houses here and there.
Are you able to know which type bird was doing which call?
I wasn't even paying any attention.
Yeah.
I know most of them, but Nancy, my wife, knows all of them very well, better than I do. And one of them, of course, was a mockingbird, and it was the loudest, as they usually are. But these birds were just singing, and I just absolutely just stopped for a minute.
Yeah.
And then I really relaxed. It was a nice walk, but the birds were singing, and I just stopped and listened to them. I think sometimes we let these things escape us.
Yes.
We don't pay attention to them. They're out there, and they're beautiful, they're relaxing, and it's part of nature. It's all around you, and we don't pay attention. But so I was proud of myself for stopping, which I don't always do, and just taking a moment, deep breath or two, and listen to the birds singing, because this is important for them.
Yeah.
This is their time. The mating season's coming up, and what are they doing? Why are they just singing? Are they happy? Not really. They're announcing their territory. They're telling all the other birds of their type, stay away from here, this is mine.
Oh.
And so they're setting up their territories now. It's a little early for mating, but not too early. And they'll be claiming those territories, hoping for a female to come along and claim them. And that's what all the singing's about in the springtime.
Do the females sing at all?
They do some,
Yeah.
but typically it's the male who will stake out a territory and proclaim that territory by singing.
Yeah.
And all the other singing around there is for various reasons, but mostly this time of year it's to say, this is mine, stay away.
Oh, stay away, not this is mine, hey baby, come here?
Both of those.
Oh, okay.
Hey, look at me, I sing well, I'm pretty, I'm up here, and this is what I'll give you if you choose me. Here's a territory,
okay.
I've got good food, I'm keeping the other guys away, come on in.
Yeah. And that's, I've always been fascinated with the need to do that outweighs their need to stay safe, because they're basically saying to a hawk or anything else in the area, like, hey, here I am, come see me,
Lunch is
look
served.
how good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting. That's stronger than their need to stay safe.
And I'm sure they're kind of keeping their eye open, too, for that. And it's just really nice to hear them and hear that sound,
wonderful.
and it's everywhere. And if you just stop and listen to it, it's like, oh, here's what's going on.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Well, that does bring to mind, though, I have heard people complain about having birds singing when they're waking up in the morning.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing to wake up to. But what really annoys a lot of people are the woodpeckers that are like out there like, hey, I'm here, and, checking on
I was
the
just
house.
talking about all the singing that the birds do to attract the mates and to proclaim their territory. Woodpeckers don't do that so much. They'll squawk a little bit here and there. But what do? They pound.
Right.
They pound on something that makes a lot of resonant noise, and you hear it, and the rapidity of it kind of tells you which woodpecker it is. And that's what they do instead of singing. And you can hear them. They'll find something like your gutter, which is really fun for them because it makes a lot of noise. They'll hit that. Or dead wood is the natural part, or it's part of your house. And they'll just hit it to make that noise. And the rapidity of that pounding and will tell the other birds of their species, nope, this area is taken, go away. Same thing as singing.
Yeah. And to attract the mate, right?
And to attract a mate, yeah. And this will settle down as we get a little further into the nesting season.
Do the females do that too? Drum?
A little.
Yeah.
But not for that purpose.
Why do they do it?
Huh?
Why do the females do it?
Digging for food.
Okay.
And people say, oh, they're tearing up my house. Well, this time of year, probably not. they're making the noise. You hear a lot of rapid beating, especially on your gutters and things that are really resonant, just to make the noise. The other pounding you'll hear, especially later in the year when they're not in the mating season, is digging for food.
Yeah.
Inside of a dead log or in the side of your house. If they think they hear something on the other side that might be a beetle or something.
Yeah.
Some people report that if they had a ticking clock on the inside on a shelf, woodpeckers will tend to hit the outside wooden shingles trying to find where that grub is.
Oh, wow. I never thought
in the
about
wood.
that. Yeah.
And I haven't experienced that, but I've heard reports of that.
So maybe if you don't want that, look to see if there's a ticking clock nearby, right?
If you see a bird, a woodpecker, knocking a hole in the side of a big house, just in the middle of something, that may be what it is. It may not be. They may be drumming in that big dead tree to knock a nesting cavity.
Yeah.
And they probably wouldn't be successful, but they'll make a mess of your house. Most of the time, that doesn't happen.
Right. Yeah. I love to see them. And so if you keep lots of suet out for them to eat, are they less likely to be trying to get food in your house? Or
probably not. But they'll be well fed.
Yeah.
And yeah, they may actually not go to as much trouble to dig in your house if they can easily get what they're looking for, a fatty substance, in your suet feeder.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the best suets to attract woodpeckers?
Oh, there's no doubt.
While we're at it?
Coles
has a few suet cakes that are great for woodpeckers.
We have 4 types of suet cakes. Two of them are a thicker one that work really well in the summertime because they're less likely to have the fat melt out of them when it gets really warm. And the other 2 are tighter with more cornmeal and stuff in them, so they don't melt as easy. One of those 2 has hot pepper in it.
Oh.
Capsaicin to make it very... It's my favorite at home. Then I don't have to worry about everybody else eating it. I put it out and the birds have it, and that's it. I run it year round. And I don't have any problems with it being too hard in the wintertime or anything. So it's my go-to suet for putting out for the birds.
That's
and
awesome.
They love it. They absolutely love that stuff. All birds will eat a lot of suet. And
is suet especially good too in the spring as they're trying to get the energy to feed the young?
Spring and fall.
Yeah.
We see, or at least at my house, a lot more suet disappears right in the middle of the breeding season, not the breeding season, but the nestling phase when these are starting out and the parents need to feed them, a lot of suet disappears because you'll see the birds come and grab some and take off, grab some and take off.
Yeah.
And then also in the wintertime, it's a handy source of food for these guys and high energy because of the fat content. That's a good insect substitute. They eat insects to get that high fat. They eat the suet for the same reason.
And this also keeps the squirrels away.
Yes.
So that's the great thing about...
Squirrels tend not to like that because it's hot and they taste hot. And the birds don't taste the heat.
And that's something that Coles really took on early on is coming out with these chili pepper infused. Yeah. And they call them their hot flavors of almost every product has a hot version too, right?
Yeah, we have several of those, yes.
Yeah.
And there again, one of my favorites is pure sunflower meats. The best food for birds as far as attracting birds and wholesomeness, it's just pure. Sunflower meats are just pure nut meat. It's just great. It's not a nut meat, but a seed.
And that's what I love is even the little bitty birds with the tiny little beaks can get that.
Yes, and
it's not hard to open.
I feed some with sunflower seed with the shell still on it. Sun meats have they're just the shell's gone.
Yeah.
It's just pure food, 100% food, and all the birds love it. Even birds that tend not to eat bird seed will eat sunflower meats because it's more of like an insect. It's soft, it's nutritious, and they don't have to break a seed. You see wrens eating a lot of this because they don't crack shells very well.
Yeah, but what I love about it too, the birds are going to knock some feed out just because they're grabbing some and it's going to drop to the ground. But something will come along and eat it because everything loves sunflower.
Sun meats do not stay around in
Yeah,
the
they
feeder
don't.
or on the ground.
Right.
They're gone quickly.
I know,
So,
and so you get the fun of being able to
Yeah.
see that as well. Okay, so let's move on to talking about nesting season and the nesting boxes and that kind of thing.
nesting season is like I said, is starting now.
Is it this soon?
It's starting now, and we've had about 2 weeks of warm weather now, and so they're getting
Yeah.
a little anxious. They may slow down some if we get a real cold front in here for another couple of weeks, but we're in early March. By late March, a lot of nests will be built, and there will be some eggs in some of the nests.
Yeah.
We're not that far
exciting.
away, so your nest boxes and are important this time of year. If you haven't already, get out and pull out the old nest from last year, clean it out inside, get all the droppings and stuff in there. I take mine, I'll open it up, generally a wooden nest box mounted on a pole
Right.
or tree, and I just open it up and hose it out real good, scrape it out, open it up, let it dry, and close it back up, and the birds will take care of the rest. They'll bring in their nesting material, but get rid of the old stuff because there might be parasitic eggs in there or parasites, and you just give them, the parasites, a head start on the birds when they start to nest. So clean all that out, and then watch later in the year after the first nesting, if it's like bluebirds will nest 3, sometimes 4 times a year. Check after each nesting, get rid of the nest, and I know it's like, oh, the poor things that are building nesting, they're good at it, and they're quick at it, and they won't have a problem building another nest, and they won't have a problem with parasites if you clean it out each time.
Yes.
Because the parasites will get in there, and you get feather lice and things like that. You'll get rid of all that. So just clean it out, get it ready, and wait for them to choose it.
But I guess it's important to know, like, if you flip it up, there's anything in there, like if there's some eggs, if there, you're seeing any signs of life, like just leave it
once
as it is.
Once the nest is built,
Yeah.
if you're watching, you kind of know what's going on. You'll see them coming and going, and you can monitor nests, and especially with bluebirds. The other birds are a little harder, but with bluebirds, you can check on them up to probably 12 days after the eggs are laid. After they're hatched. After that, you run a risk of the young
Them
birds
coming
being
out.
big enough to try
Yeah.
to fly, and they'll bail out of the nest, and that's not good.
Yeah, you don't want to check on them.
If that does happen to you, by the way, do your best to round them up like little chicks on the ground. Get them back in the box, shut the door, put something across the door for just 30, 40 minutes, so they'll settle down in there and take it, a piece of tape off or something, so the parents can get in there and feed them. They'll most likely stay in there then. But if you just take them, put them back in the box, shut the door, they're going to jump right back out again.
Really?
I learned from experience.
Really?
Yeah, I opened one up, and I wasn't paying attention, and I forgot how long it had been. I was in probably almost a 2-week stage as opposed to the 10 or 11 days, and 2 or 3 of the 4 or 5 bluebirds
Oh my
just bailed
gosh.
out.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, they couldn't fly well as they usually
Yeah.
can't that time of year. And so I had to run around chasing them on the ground and picking them up and putting them back in there. And I was putting them in there, and they were jumping right back out again. And of course, the parents were fussing at me. So I learned.
So what'd
I
you
learned.
do? You put them all in there and then you close that hole?
I closed it up, put a piece of tape across the door.
Yeah.
And the parents weren't real happy, but the birds stayed in there a while. And I think I
Calm
left
down.
it about an hour.
Yeah.
And then I just took the tape off and walked away, and they were just fine. They stayed up, I think,
What
another
a great
2 days.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
fine. Would they have survived? They probably would have.
Yeah.
You don't know. I felt really bad when they came out.
I'm sure their parents did
I learned-
too.
I learned a lesson.
Can you stay out of here?
The lesson is don't open that box if you don't know how far along they are.
Yes.
But in the early stages, I check my bluebird boxes. I used to do it every day. I'll check them every 2 or 3 days now.
Yeah.
And I see how many eggs I got. If I got 3 eggs today, I'll check tomorrow 4 eggs. And I'll check every day on the eggs until I don't have a new egg one day. Then I know that's when she's going to start incubating the eggs.
Yeah.
Bluebirds I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Some birds start incubating immediately, and their eggs hatch sequentially. One this day, another one the next day, because she's sitting on each one as they lay them.
See, I had no idea. I
Bluebirds
thought
don't
that they
incubate
just sat
until
down.
they're all laid.
I thought they just sat down and laid all their eggs at the same time.
Nope.
Interesting.
Nope. One a day.
That's
Kind
so
of like chicken.
interesting.
Yeah. And then she'll start incubating after the last egg's laid. So if I've got 4 eggs and then the next day I don't have one, I know she's going to start incubating, and I'm going to expect 4 chicks. That's right, four chicks.
But you don't, and then you leave her alone to do that, or do you keep opening the box
I
and
keep
watching?
I keep checking because I might leave it alone for a while because I know I've got roughly 15 to 18 days and they'll hatch.
Yeah.
It's that quick. It's like just a little over 2 weeks. Sometimes right at 2 weeks, 14 to 20 days, depending on the weather, and they'll start hatching. In the case of bluebirds, they'll all pretty much hatch about the same time because they've all been incubated at the same amount of time.
Oh, interesting.
Then you can monitor the box every day or so, or every day, until you get up into the 2 week range, and you best not do that.
Yeah.
Because of what we were talking about.
That's
but
so
don't be afraid to look.
interesting.
Some of the bluebirds will just dive you and chase you and squawk and carry on. Some of them will just go sit and watch and like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
They don't get so excited. I try not to monitor too much when ones that really panic when you approach the nest box. I hear a lot of flapping over my head when they come and dive bomb.
Yeah.
But they get over it, and they kind of know you're not going to eat their birds or something. And I like to look at them and see if there's anything going on. I'll stick my hand down in the nest a little bit and come out and see if there's anything crawling on it.
Yeah.
Like little things, And but after that, just leave them alone. And then after they fledge, you'll know they're out of there because you won't see any birds.
Yeah.
If you are going to monitor a box, approach it slowly, go to the side of it, not right in front of the hole, and tap on the box. And give it just a moment. Tap on it again. Then when you open the box, don't open it quickly. Open it very slowly. Some females will come out immediately. When they hear you coming, they'll come out. Some will sit on the eggs tight until you open that door. Then they'll come out. And that may scare you, and you don't know what they're going to do when they try to fly that quick. So just tap on the box, open the door very slowly. If there's a female sitting on the eggs and doesn't move, close the door back and walk away. If there's nobody in there, or she flies when you tap on the box, you can open the thing and look at the chicks. You can count them. You can touch them on the head. It doesn't matter. They don't smell you and throw their chicks out because of that. They can't smell you.
Yeah, that's just a myth.
Yeah. But yes, you can monitor, and it's not a bad thing to do to see what's going on.
And while we're talking about bluebirds, do you want to talk about best things to feed them? We have some Kohl's products that we can show.
Yeah. You want to show them, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I know that the mealworms are great, the dried mealworms, and also nutberry suet blend.
Nutberry suet blend, yeah. Nutberry suet blend is one of my favorite things to put out for the birds this time of year because these little pellet-like little things of suet is perfect for the birds to feed their young. And they seem like they grab it and go. And I put that in one of the Bountiful bowls.
Oh,
Kohl's Bountiful Bowl Feeder, an open feeder. They can just come in and grab it and go. And now the regular suet cakes in a suet feeder are good also because the birds will grab that, get it in their beak, and go fill their young with it. Right. Suet's very big during the time that the young are growing.
Yeah.
It's a great food for the young, and the adult birds seem to really like using it and feeding it.
Yeah.
So the nutberry suet blend and the Kohl's suet. Also, we keep mentioning sunflower meats, pure sunflower meats.
They love it.
That's another great food for them.
Yeah. Okay, do you want to show some of the feeders that you brought today?
We're talking about birdhouses and all, and we talked about cleaning them out and all.
Yeah.
But the other part of this whole thing is the bird feeders.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a bird feeder. And the traditional bird feeder, I'll just grab something here, this happens to be better than most. This is a Kohl's bird feeder. And we've gone over several times what makes these so great. But tube feeders are really good.
Yeah.
The food flows down, the birds get it. These have solid metal ports, and they're easy to clean because of the bottom. It comes right off.
Love that.
Yeah, I do too. And so you want to use these. Now, any of these feeders, even ours, in heavy rain, some rain is going to hit here, some rain may get in here, and so it's nice to have something over this.
Yeah.
And you see these things out all the time, and domes to go over top of your feeders. And here's a Kohl's dome, and you see domes sometimes hung up here with a hook under it, and what happens when the wind's blowing, that thing's flapping around and banging the feeder, and these right here
so easy too.
fit right on.
Yeah. That's wonderful.
And
so they don't get rained on while they eat, too.
And they don't get rained on while they eat, and it really covers.
And I love how it's clear, so you're not going to get any view blocked.
You still see very well.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Nice. Very nice.
it's hard to go wrong with one of these feeders.
Right.
And one of these guys. Now, I do have another one.
Is this one the Mighty Dome that we were just looking at the picture of it?
This is Domezilla.
Oh, Domezilla.
You've heard of Godzilla. Well, this is Domezilla.
It's huge.
It's a monster of a dome. This thing is 18 inches across, and you can kind of see it here.
Yeah, you can see it real well.
Now, if you really wanted to get carried away with a dome on a feeder,
that's what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
Now that's really protecting that feeder.
Yeah.
You may get a teeny bit of squirrel protection from this big dome and this little feeder.
Yeah.
If it's away from the tree and all, it's going to be hard for a squirrel to get around here and reach under here and get it.
Right.
Of course, they can jump up or something. It's not a squirrel-proofing mechanism, but it's nice. But why would we have a dome this big?
Unless you had a feeder
Oh, yeah.
that fit that dome.
Domezilla was actually created to fit,
Tubezilla.
and here's the big brother of the other feeder I was showing.
Oh, okay.
This is just terrific tube, the big version.
Nice.
6 ports as opposed to the 4 ports.
Really nice.
This is Tubezilla.
This is beautiful.
And here again, this is one of my favorite feeders.
Let's see if we can
Oh, we can
see the
Can we see the
front.
labels? Oh, yeah. And
Yeah. Isn't that beautiful?
it's really big. It's really nice. It's very well made. Here again, it's got the same, just pop off the bottom to clean it out, flip up the top.
Perfect.
It's got a lot of ports. It's got big loops for ports so birds
Yeah.
can easily sit there and eat.
And big birds can come.
And bigger birds can come. They can. And
Yeah.
guess what?
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, we got to not hit the mic.
Oh, and there we
look
go.
at that. That is awesome.
This is an this is an 18-inch dome on this feeder. What I like about it is you get a lot more birds on here. There's a lot of food. I don't have to run out and fill it up.
Yeah, that's what
twice
I
a day or
like.
every other day.
Yeah.
And this protects
They will
it.
go through that food, too.
Yeah. My favorite feeder at home is this hanging off of a porch.
Mm-hmm.
And how can I get away with this hanging off of a porch? I've got Cole's hot meats in it.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
The squirrels won't come up on the deck,
Yeah.
hop over to the feeder. Nobody eats this but the birds.
I like having them
Yeah.
right off the
Yeah.
deck or patio where
Yeah.
you can get a good close-up view of
Easy to
them.
get to, easy to fill up, easy to see, and it makes life easier.
Yeah.
But this dome right here is nice,
Yes.
and it
really
protects the
nice.
birds and protects the food in there.
Keeps your seed from getting like old, just moldy and.
And this is good. This thing
Yeah.
lasts, and I've got one now that's probably 7 or 8 years old.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's not as pretty and shiny like this, but it's
Yeah.
really great.
Yeah.
So there we go. Domezilla, Tubezilla. Don't
And
have
you're
to
ready.
fill it up
That's
twice
a
a day.
great gift.
It is a great gift.
You know, Mother's Day is coming up in May, and what a great gift to give mom.
Oh, it is. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's not that far away, is it?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfect
Mother's
gift.
Day, right there.
Absolutely. And also, we can't talk about Mother's Day without talking about hummingbirds.
Oh.
Do we have the video that we can show a little bit of the hummingbird? And I think they're at the Hummer High Rise feeder. Alex, can we
Another
see that
Cole's
video?
product. Oh, there we
Look
go.
at it. Look how cute. Oh, is this the Hummer High Rise, or is this the before the Hummer High Rise came out? Oh, it's so cute. Look how cute that is.
That's an early version of the Hummer High Rise.
Yeah.
Only difference is the color.
Yeah, look how cute.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see them. When are we going to start seeing the hummingbirds?
It was good we mentioning this because it's this time of year, all of a sudden, here come the calls. Well, I had hummingbirds last year. Where are they? What am I doing wrong? Nothing. Where are the hummingbirds right now? They're just coming into the southern United States.
Yeah.
They're coming up from Central and Northern South America, mostly from Central America. In this area, East Coast, they'll be coming across the Gulf of Mexico nonstop, coming into the coastal area of Louisiana and Alabama and Florida,
Yeah.
and then moving northward from there. And so we'll see them about now coming into the coast, the beginning of it. And as the weeks progress, further and further north, they'll be moving.
Right.
So if you're in, say, the Atlanta area like we are, probably mid-March, I should be able to see one.
Yeah.
Maybe one today and one a couple of days from now, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then it gets more and more as
When do you put your feeders out?
I never take them down.
That's
Whoa,
right. That's right.
Well, you don't have to worry
never
about
do.
when you put. Don't take them down. Take some of them down, but leave a feeder or two out all winter long, because there's hummingbirds here all year. Not many, but in certain areas around the Gulf of Mexico and the coast in California, you have some hummingbirds year-round residents. Here, we run into western species that actually move into the southeast for the wintertime. And I'm sure that's some type of way that they spread the species in case the rest of the place falls off into the ocean. There's some of them still alive because they're not where they're supposed to be. But they come here, some of the western species come here and survive during the wintertime.
Yeah.
And we'll get reports around. There might be, we might know where 10 or 15 are each winter in different places around the southeast. And there's a lot more of them, we just don't know about them.
Yeah.
So keep a hummingbird feeder up all year, and you may see one of these out of range hummingbirds that's where they're not supposed to be.
Excellent
And
advice.
it doesn't keep them here. You don't have to worry about, if I put it up, they won't leave.
won't
They know when to
migrate,
leave.
yeah.
They know when to come back. And if there's some food out there, they'll take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's time to put the feeders out, make sure they're clean, because you could be seeing now, there's some charts you can look up online that kind of gives you a week by week,
where
day
they
by
are.
day kind of schedule
Oh,
of where
perfect.
they're supposed to be.
Good.
And,
if we can see a picture of the Hummer High Rise, the latest Hummer High Rise,
Yeah.
that would be great.
Yeah.
And you also have the Cole's Hummer food now.
Yes, we do. And we're very proud of the hummingbird food. You know, you can go to the store and you buy this stuff, and it's got all these preservatives in it, and it's red, and
Food coloring, right?
there's a lot of strange stuff in most of
Yeah.
those. The labels read, like something on the back of a medicine.
Right.
So we have developed one that's not only, it does not have preservatives and all in it, and it stays fine in the packaging, but it's blended from 3 types of sugars. The 3 types of sugars, in the proportions that the hummingbirds find naturally in nature. So you got sucrose and dextrose and the other. And they just...
Glucose, right?
Glucose. And there's certain percentages of what they typically find. It's kind of a good rounded mix
Right.
of what would be average.
And no preservatives, right?
And no preservatives.
right.
And they like it. And I feel
good.
good about
There's
feeding
the
it,
Hummer High Rise.
especially in a Hummer High Rise. We like this. Our feeder here is nice also, because when you're at eye level looking out, you get to see the hummingbirds on the backside of the feeder.
Yeah.
I'll have to admit, I've had a lot of different hummingbird type feeders before we ended up with these. And the 4 fountains, I think everybody sees those in the stores with the
Yeah.
4 flowers around the side.
Yes.
Like, I like the feeder, but oh, what a headache to clean.
Yes.
And they drip, and they're messy, and there's a lot of parts.
Oh,
This
there we go. Nature's Garden.
eliminates
There we go.
all those
Yes.
parts and all, and it holds just as much. And I've gotten away from all those other feeders over the years. Like now, all I put out there are the Hummer High Rise feeders.
Yeah.
And the birds love it. I love the maintenance. They're so easy to clean.
I know. I do too.
Yeah,
It's
you just
so
come in and
easy.
swish them
Yeah.
out and wipe them off, and
I
fill
just
'em up,
run 'em through the
put 'em back up.
dishwasher.
Yeah, that's fine. And
Yep.
it just makes my life easier being a good hummingbird parent to fill these feeders up.
Hummingbird parent. I love that. I think that's all the time we have,
Oh, no.
but we are so glad that you joined us today, and we're going to leave you today with the thought that Richard hopefully will be back next month.
Yeah.
And he's here to answer all of your birding questions. So join us the first Wednesday of the month at 3 o'clock Eastern time for Richard Cole to tell you everything you want to know about birds and let you ask your own questions. Thanks.
And don't forget to stop by the Cole's website, Cole's Wild Bird,
Right.
and check out all the other products.
Good advice.
Hello, this is Richard Cole. I want to thank each of you for watching, and I want you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share it.